Greetings and welcome everybody to the Beers and Bodyslams podcast. Sitting across from me, who's a man who never has to eat a Snickers because he never plays like Betty White. Good old JB.
And sitting to my left, he is a man that has already walked with Elias, Mr. Fluffy.
Oh, that's kind of scary in a thought.
Walk with Elias.
And sitting across from me, he is the second star to the right that I am heading towards. Irish.
We have, I don't know how to take that. We have a lot of news, a lot of cool stuff this week, a lot of interesting news stories coming out of the European tour that the WWE is currently on.
That's
we
right.
even have news that has nothing to do with the WWE. Shocking.
There's no wrestling outside of that.
There's no wrestling outside of the WWE. If it doesn't happen in WWE, it doesn't happen.
Exactly.
We've got that. Plus, we've got a really... It's a very nice little seasonal type beer that
That's right.
we're gonna sample tonight. We got that and so much more when we come right back.
Awesome!
This is the Beers and Bodyslams podcast
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
with your host, Mr. Fluffy,
Hello, ladies.
good old JB,
Booty-O's! They make sure you ain't booty.
and the Irish O'Leary.
There's only one word to describe you, and I'm gonna spell it out for you. A-A-W-S-T!
This is the only podcast bringing you craft beer and pro wrestling that really matters.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, E-Generation X proudly brings to you its WWL Tag Team Champion of the World, the Road Dogg Jesse James, the Badass Billy Gunn, the new.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
All right, Mr. Fluffy, tell everybody what you have for us this evening.
It was my beer week, so I decided to go out and find some fun stuff. I'll admit this beer is sort of self-serving. I have started to homebrew, and I wanted to learn more about a winter warmer, so I went out and found a winter warmer because, you know, that's how my mind breaks.
It is that time of year, isn't it?
It is. From Anchor Brewing Company, we have their Merry Christmas and Happy New Year 2017.
Happy holidays.
It is really, really good. I'm enjoying it. It's the profile I thought it would be, which is very sort of sharp
Was
but
it a stout?
warm.
Into the stout?
No, it's a winter warmer. A winter warmer is a style. It's sort of, and that's why I wanted to drink one. Yeah,
my novice knowledge coming out.
I wanted to drink one because I knew them, but I hadn't had one in a while because they only come out once a year.
I've never even heard of that style before.
It's
Me neither.
it's sharp. Yeah, it's a winter warmer. It's
Like
usually
a cheddar?
special. Yeah. But Anchor Brewing Company out of San Francisco, California.
Nice.
Thank you so much for this. It's really good though. It's warm. It's very sharp. Like it's definitely got a harshness at the end of it that kind of goes, "Hi, I'm here."
It's got a little bit of a bite, but
It's
not
sweet,
like
but sweet.
yeah, not like an IPA has bite. So if
No,
you're listening
no,
and you're
no.
like, oh God, no, I don't want that. No, it's
No, it's a multi-bite.
It's a
yeah.
strong, a bite, I guess would be the best way
it's-
I can describe it. But
I tasted like an intense rye bread. That's the kind of flavor profile I get, like that really bready sort of really.
you know, like sourdough.
Yeah,
'cause it's from
exactly.
San
Well,
Francisco.
but that's what I'm saying. But that's what warmers are. They've got that really heavy back end to
Yeah.
them where you're like, okay, it's kind of bready, kind of sharp.
Yeah, it's kind of like a nice home cooked meal. I mean, it's
Yeah.
filling, it's warm, it makes you warm on the inside, makes you just want to cuddle up with a nice warm blanket and have a little napsy by the fire.
Oh,
But it's
man.
they're
Put me
2017,
to
so if
sleep
you can
here.
find
Yeah.
it, go out and get it. I found it at my
Absolutely.
local grocery store, so I know they're out there.
definitely
yeah.
worth a try
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they're cute little bottles. So they got the little stubby bottles.
Oh,
if you're into that.
If you're into that.
if you're into little and stubby.
Yeah. All right, so we got lots to get to before we get to Raw and SmackDown. We've got some news.
News.
All right, we're going to start off with the big announcement this week outside the WWE.
Rockstar Spud was released from TNA.
And he's going to be signed to go to 205. No, that's still WWE.
Oh,
Wrong.
okay.
We have
Moose was complimenting the
There was a lot of movement
the big
from that
FG,
company.
whatever the big pay-per-view was over at TNA.
I don't know. I have no idea what happens with them anymore.
Okada took a crap in the middle of the. I don't know. Yeah. It's coming up with stuff.
We have the Alpha versus the Omega. Chris Jericho will take on Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom 12.
Apparently, that was not well received by the E.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't.
Shocking.
I'm sure it wasn't.
Well, apparently, they couldn't come to an agreement on a new contract for him. So that's why he's a free agent to begin with. And so they didn't realize he was negotiating, with Japan. So when they found out, I guess through Twitter, that he was having a match with Omega, that apparently didn't go over very well. But, he's a free agent. He's a free agent. You go do what you want to do.
And the
you
thing
don't want to up the ante, then that's on them.
But of all people, though, they'll welcome him back in a heartbeat. Like if some other people have done that, and be like he's never coming back. But him, they'll go, oh, we'll forget that.
But the fact that now one of their own basically is elevating an indie guy to even higher levels is something that's going to irk them. Because now they couldn't sign him.
Yep.
And he's this untouchable, indie guy. He's a top guy in indie. And it's like, okay, well, now you're going to go enhance him and his brand instead of having him come over here, so how they...
Two things.
One company thinks.
One conspiracy theory and one observation question. The observation question is, I thought that he had reached out to Triple H and tried to get NXT to be a part of the Wrestle Booze Cruise thing.
Oh,
and
I didn't hear
said
that.
No.
Yeah, that was I
didn't hear that.
So he said, "Well, if you're not going to help me in my thing, and elevate your brand, then I'll just go kind of do my thing."
Yeah. That would make sense though, because they're bringing a lot of ROH guys. But that would have made sense if it had been NXT.
Sure,
it would have been huge.
Yeah. Well, and that kind of goes to the conspiracy theory. What if this was a way that Jericho's going to go over and he's going to work this whole system? What do they call it? Not series, but the whole
G6 or whatever this thing.
Yeah, no. He's going to work this program with Omega, and then he's like, "Hey, you know what? You should really come over to the E." And then Jericho elevates Omega so much so that then he puts him solely on Vince's radar.
Good.
He was already on the radar. They were in negotiations.
Yeah.
Before he re-upped, I think
him and the New Day, him and the New Bucks,
New Day.
The Young Bucks were supposed to do the same thing. They were negotiating with him, and then the Bucks were like, "Okay, we're done." They walked away.
They understand, they built their brand on their own.
Yeah.
So really,
they don't want to share the profits.
They don't need the WWE, but they Omega said, if I'm going over there, I want it to go this way. So in other words, he has the leverage where he can say, I want my character to be A, B, and C.
He doesn't want to go to NXT. He wants to just show up on the main roster.
Right.
Well, not only that, but he doesn't want to be restricted in his character.
Yeah.
So if he can't be Kenny Omega, which is, from what I hear, a little bit pushing the envelope at times.
Yeah, a little bit.
So if he can't be that guy, then, WWE is going to water him down, and he doesn't want to do that. So,
well, I don't blame him. And the other thing is once the Bucks or Omega were to ever sign with the E, then all the things that make those guys great disappears.
Yeah.
Because we've learned from Zack Ryder that they're not going to be able to keep the being the elite thing. There's no way they're going to be able to keep that free content on YouTube out there.
Nope.
Where it's uncontrolled.
yeah.
So that's going to go away. And then the Young Buck merch all has to go through WWE, and they're not going to like that at all. So it doesn't make sense for the Bucks, and I don't think it makes sense for Kenny Omega to do that.
The only reason you would do it is at
the end of your career.
At the end of your career, as that, all right, I've conquered everywhere else.
Yeah.
I'm going to conquer here.
Like an AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Like an AJ, or even a Flair did kind of the same thing when he came back the second time.
Yeah.
Right.
Where he came back to go, okay, I've done it everywhere.
I mean, he wouldn't be that old, but I would say when you're mid 30s,
yeah,
but when you're kind of on the back end of your prime is when you want to give it a shot.
But I think AJ is a perfect example. AJ and Samoa Joe, it's like, okay, well, I've won everywhere else. I might as well go here. That way I am considered. Because the other thing is what Kenny will lack in the conversation of was he the best of the best was he was never in the E. And even though some people will hold it against him in a way because of that. Because AJ was always the same thing. AJ was always like, oh, AJ's the greatest wrestler ever. but he was never.
Well, the E gives you global appeal.
Yeah, he was never in the E, and now he's been in the E. He's been a champion, so now it elevates him to that level of the best of the best, of the greatest of all time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's the difference between playing for Major League Baseball or playing for AAA. Yeah, AAA is great, and you can have a great career, and you can be a name, but you still haven't ever made it to the main stage. And WWE, as much as people hate it, is still the game. It's still the main stage.
Yeah, and the other thing this does for a great benefit for Kenny is because he's getting ready to work with probably, well, at least this generation's greatest on the mic.
Yep.
I mean, there's nobody cutting promos and thinking storyline through as much as Jericho. Just think about those shockwaves, that 2-minute video, you know, that all it was just Jericho standing there, and he was kind of lifting a little bit of the countdown, and he lifted a little bit of the video, and then just held that picture up and ripped it. And I was like, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is going to be a plus for Omega, independent of whatever happens in the future, because he's going to be able to spend quality time with the GOAT of...
Well, if he beats Jericho, if he pins Jericho...
On his home turf?
He will.
Yeah.
It's I'm saying it elevates him because it goes, oh, look, he beat one of the greatest of all time in his own right.
Yeah, no, by the way, he'll be in our backyard this weekend.
Yeah, I know.
Is that this weekend?
Yeah, it's Sunday night. We're going to try to go. All right. The other thing that happened was ESPN released their 30 for 30 on Ric Flair.
Greatness.
Holy cow.
Greatness.
It was good. My favorite story of the... I mean, it's sad, and I feel for Rick in a way, and before I get into my favorite story, it says... The parts about Reed are sad. Everything he gave up is sad. And what makes me sad sometimes when I was watching it is he knows what he's gave up, but he doesn't regret it. And it makes me even sadder that he loves wrestling so much that it's everything to him. And he just can't let go.
It was a very complex, emotional watch, because to me, he was empty inside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he loved what he did, but at the same time, like he's like lost himself in it. Well, he didn't want to go home.
Yep.
You know,
he didn't want to be alone.
He couldn't be by himself.
Yeah.
He always had to have companionship, and he was like to me, like he was so lost, like inside, just like the drinking and all the partying. It's just, I gotta do something, you know. I got to be seen. I got to be heard.
Charlotte looks good in it. She's amazing in it. Her little parts in it as Ashley. I mean, obviously,
but
it's
I mean,
a real name.
You're not acting. You're real.
No, I'm saying, but she was great in it. That you got to see her. You saw her pain in a way.
Oh, he definitely did.
You felt her pain talking about Reed and talking about her father and stuff like that.
She'd never be in the WWE if he hadn't passed away.
Sure, absolutely. And you know, you have to look at it like this. You know, especially someone. I mean, there's really only a handful, maybe 2 handfuls. You know, I've got 10 fingers of legends. I mean, legends, and even less who are currently living. And you compared their lifestyle to any rock star, any other
Flair
celebrity, and you know they all say the same thing. You know, that's why there's always entourages of people around these people, and they're partying and constantly out doing things, because there is that weird hole inside of them. And you know, not to get crazy on the other part of it, it's sad when you watch somebody who's ascended to that mountaintop and just see that, okay, great, now you've done everything in the world, now what? And
that's what it was. One of my favorite stories from the whole thing was he said he went to a sports psychologist because, and I'm assuming he goes, I went, which means somebody sent him.
Yeah.
He didn't go on his own choice.
Yeah, no, he did not.
And he sat down. He said he talked about, the psychologist goes, well, how much do you drink? He goes, of course I drink. He goes, how much do you drink? I drink 10 beers and 4 mixed drinks. And they go, how many days a week? Every day. Okay. No, that's not possible. He goes, no, I do. Well, how long? He goes, I don't know. I've been doing this since like 30 years. So every day for 30 years. And the psychologist goes, that's not possible. He goes, well, just come out with me one night and you'll find out. And it wasn't boastful. It was just like,
this is my life.
This is my life.
Yeah.
This is what I do. He goes,
it's my life.
He goes, I would have a couple on their car ride over. I would have vodka when I got to the bar, and I'd have a couple more on the way back. And you're just like, oh my God. That or Hogan admitting, I mean, that was great when Hogan's part was really good.
I wonder how he felt about the fact that Flair was the first one to have his own 30 for 30. and it kind of elevated him over Hulk.
But Hulk only elevated himself though. He even said, he goes, Flair is better than me.
Publicly he did.
Yeah.
Inside, I wonder what he was thinking. But
I'm sure he
clearly
thinks that.
everybody knows that Flair was 10 times better than Hogan in the ring, which is what he admitted on the show.
Yeah.
But privately, I'm wondering like this bastard got a.
But I'm going to take a
his own
shot.
special
I'm going to
degree.
take a shot at WB in a major way. I'm very disappointed in the fact that it was never mentioned either on Raw or SmackDown. ESPN specifically did it at 10 o'clock on Tuesday to not interfere with SmackDown. That's why it was at 10 o'clock on Tuesday. Besides the fact they had the Golden Glove Awards on before it, that's why it was Tuesday night.
Right.
Never on Raw or SmackDown was it ever mentioned.
Yeah.
And it's not like you can say, well, they weren't involved. They were all involved because Triple H was there.
Yeah.
They were using tons of footage. The logo was everywhere. So clearly it was a documentary made with the blessing of the company because they've said that before. But shame on them.
It's a conflict of interest because you have a contract with the USA Network. You're not going to promote another network.
Oh, but
on the air.
They promote their own though. Come on.
Their own. You're not going to say, "Hey, go turn over to ESPN and turn away from the people that are paying us to air this content."
Yeah, go turn over to ABC.
But
and
still.
Disney.
Go watch ABC and ESPN.
No, okay.
Give them 2 hours ratings.
Okay, but I will say they have done that in the past though because they've mentioned when wrestlers have been on other shows on other networks.
But it
Only after the fact when it was news.
All right. But again, shame on them a little bit. But even their social media, I never saw anything about it. Like I'm just saying. The other anything else do you want to say something, Ric Flair?
No, I mean
I'm sorry.
Obviously, we've given a lot of it away, but if you haven't watched it, it's definitely
amazing.
worth watching. Like I said, there's a lot of different emotions. It takes you back down memory lane for sure.
Yep.
From the early days all the way through, and it's definitely worth your time for 2
Ricky
hours.
Steamboat was really good. He came off really interesting in it.
The whole
telling
thing
stories.
was like those 30 for 30s are usually well put together.
Yep.
So
I'm excited about
they
the next
gave
one.
him
but
his
that's
just due.
What's the next one?
Oh, it's
Oh,
not wrestling
gosh.
involved. Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
stop.
yeah.
I don't want
Yeah.
to hear it.
it's.
I don't want to.
It's awesome. All right, so on to the one more piece of news before we get into the show. There's another piece of news we're going to talk about during SmackDown, but we'll get into that during. I know what you were talking about, but John Cena is our 5th SmackDown team member. So he goes to Raw and then comes right back to SmackDown because apparently we feel like we need a star. Roman Reigns is out, so they go, John, can you come back just for one night?
You should have left this for the SmackDown segment.
Roman's back next week though.
No, he's not. But he may not be wrestling though. He's back,
Yeah.
but he's not doing anything.
We should talk about that specifically on the SmackDown thing because they're interconnected.
We can.
Yeah.
All right. We'll save it then. You want to talk more about it then?
Yeah, I'd like to.
All right.
If you're listening, guys, I mean, we're literally doing this on the fly. I think that it makes more sense for us to talk about it then.
There's no format here on the show. ladies and gentlemen.
because it's. I think that it's connected to the other news story.
Oh, okay. I hear you saying. Okay. Production meeting on the air. Hey, fun. All right. So on to Raw.
Let's just skip it. Screw it. Let's just go straight to SmackDown.
On to Raw. Live on tape
The Bar.
from Manchester. Oh, there's a SmackDown joke. Wait, I'm excited by the fact that they gave the UK fans Raw and SmackDown again. I wish they would get a pay-per-view. They all requesting it. They should eventually get a pay-per-view.
They should.
They should. They show up in droves. The crowd both nights, I will say this.
They're going to get a WrestleMania one year.
Cheers to the Manchester people. Those crowds for 2 nights in a row were hot.
They always are though.
I loved all the Ring of Honor and all the stuff from Young Bucks in the 5th row.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
So we start out with The Miz coming out. One of my favorite lines of the week was definitely the Baron Corbin is the bathroom break of SmackDown.
That is true. Did you see what he did to Sin Cara?
Yeah.
Do you see the picture?
No.
Like they did like a match somewhere in between before Raw or SmackDown, and Sin Cara and Baron Corbin were wrestling, and apparently Baron stepped like right above the ankle of Sin Cara and just like it was horrible looking.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It was so I think we're leading towards some stuff. Because Miz is clearly unhappy where he is, as in he's just bitching about Kurt Angle. Could we see a trade someday between SmackDown and Raw where we could see KO and Sammy be traded for the Miztourage?
No, because he left there because he wasn't happy with Daniel Bryan and.
But he's not happy
and
anywhere.
Shane, so he's not going to go back over there.
I'm just
Well, I
saying.
mean,
I already told you KO and Sammy are going to get to Raw somehow. I haven't.
Yeah, but that's it. There's your trade.
I haven't conceptualized in my head, but I know at some point
We'll
we're
get to
gonna go
news
there.
later too.
we'll get to that. We got some news. We're going to get to that. Yeah, we're.
But I do love.
Hold
Okay,
out on me.
the Miz is great once again. I loved him begging for no match against Strowman.
That was great.
When he got
I'll
told he's
beg
wrestling
too.
Strowman, he's like, his facial expressions of pure and utter fear. You could almost smell the crap in his pants.
He goes from bully to
oh, it was
coward
awesome.
in like 6 seconds.
Okay, so then we have, Elias Sampson versus Jason Jordan in a guitar and a pole match. Really, and I feel bad. This is where I get upset for the UK fans. This was a stupid match, and I feel insulted. This is what we took to them. Like, I really do. Like, I'm watching this match going, you only do this show. They do what? They do two sets.
We're the ones watching it every week. So
I understand it, but they only do 2 Raws and 2 Smackdowns over there a year.
Mm-hmm.
Take it over there. So usually they try to do a really full show for them because they only get a few. They almost try to do almost pay-per-view quality shows in the past. Really, this is what you get. It was horrible.
But you also have to factor in there were probably other things happening that got edited out.
No, they didn't edit crap, supposedly. The show ran as it was.
Then I really feel sorry for those UK fans.
Yeah. And Jordan, okay, this Jason Jordan is fine. He has to stop this over-the-top yelling and tongue thing like the Kurt Angle ripping down. The whole, like he's, Rocky.
It will stop in 2 weeks, as I predicted a month ago. What's going to happen at Survivor Series?
When he turns on Kurt at
He's
Survivor
gonna
Series.
cost him the match, and he'll be a heel, and people can boo him and feel free to do so.
You suck.
Yeah. So
Not like your dad.
Yeah.
You
So
suck for
he just
different
he
reasons.
does not have the personality to be a face.
No,
No.
he doesn't.
No.
Yeah, and hopefully he has a
And you can attach him to Kurt Angle and whoever the hell else you want to attach him to. It
Yeah.
ain't gonna work.
truth.
then we had an absolute waste for Asuka again. Why are we feeding her nobodies?
They're killing.
Because
me.
we got nothing to do with her until after Survivor Series.
God.
Nothing to do with possibly one of the greatest female athletes in the company.
So, but we
Nothing
bring her
to
up
do.
though. But we bring her up
But we're going to bring her ass up.
with nothing to do.
Yeah, they should. She was injured. They had the perfect opportunity just to
Like she has to prove herself.
Yeah, she doesn't
to fight
exactly.
jobbers.
It's a waste.
You're killing me.
Who's got this Asuka girl? Vince, her name's Asuka. I don't know her. You're not watching NXT? What's NXT? Oh crap.
Think she went through one going, "Are you the sushi girl?"
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, wow.
If that is the case, that is one of the greatest travesties, and
Oh, it's
I'm laying
horrible.
that fully at the blame of Triple H.
Yeah. It's
Now, ask me why.
why?
He needs to be running interference for her. Vince, this is ridiculous. I understand that she needs to. You don't need to do the whole Braun Strowman, or you
Well,
don't.
that's
you
what
don't
they're
need
doing.
to do the whole Nia Jax. You had to make Nia Jax a monster because Nia Jax couldn't wrestle. You've got freaking Asuka.
Yeah.
You got someone that had that title for 500 days.
Yep.
Plus,
You
Plus.
bring her in. She's not fighting one person. I'm putting her in a handicap match or something.
Right.
Because she's already proven nobody can beat her.
Exactly. If you put her against
So-
2 or 3 jobbers, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm not gonna one person. Like, what is she gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, we don't need to make her look good. We already know her resume for people that follow the product.
Unless her coming out party is going to be Survivor Series and she's the sole survivor.
no, they have her jobbing because they don't want to have any other interference between picking the 5. Who are the 5 going to be? And I'm still questioning the question of making Alicia Fox
Captain speaking.
captain. I'm like, this makes no sense. Is that because
She must be up for a contract.
is that because Emma left?
I have
Who could
no
have filled
idea.
that spot?
Who could have filled the spot of captain for Raw?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying Fox
Anybody?
is doing. You could have had Emma do that if you let
Anybody
you
could have
released
done
her.
that. If
Anybody.
okay, first of all, let me say this: I like Alicia Fox.
I do too.
Say it right.
Fox.
Thank you.
No Amdar. Thank you for that. I like Alicia. I do. I think she's crazy. I don't know if that's an act or if that's legit. But I like her.
Your captain speaking now.
I like her as a character, and I think that she can add some comedic stuff. But the thing, you're making her the captain of Raw. If I was Bailey,
I'd be the first one to be.
If I was Bailey, Sasha, Nia, they can't have what we can't have what
we haven't had the fifth member yet.
Can't have the hottie Bobati because she's doing her women's championship match. Alexa, thank you. Name's escaping me.
Mickey.
But Mickey James, for crying out loud.
Well, who? That's the thing. They haven't announced fifth member, and this week we got Sasha on the team.
We got Sasha
over Bailey. Which are we setting up for a Sasha heel turn? Hopefully,
We've been talking about this for 6 months.
I know. I'm hoping
she needs to just go to SmackDown.
Who?
Sasha.
Sasha?
She needs a change of scenery.
Yeah, maybe
she could run the SmackDown brand for a while. She needs a boost.
So then the next thing we had was Joe come out and basically take out all of the Titus Worldwide brand in one fell swoop.
Titus Worldwide.
And both of them are down. And then Joe gives the promo that I've been waiting for him to give on the main roster. This is the NXT promo. This is the TNA promo. I'm here and I want competition. Just the angry, pissy, just screaming Joe. This is the Joe that I love. And because he did it in TNA, he did it in NXT.
It's Kidney Stone Show.
Oh my God. This just absolute. And then we got the answer we won for. I want so badly Finn versus Joe to be a long-term thing, and I think we're building towards it. This could be the feud that gets them both over. It's going to get Finn back to the spot he needs. It's going to get Joe to where he needs to go.
Yep.
God.
So it'll be over in 2 weeks.
I know. But I will say this. What came out of the Finn versus Joe match, the number was a good match, was I'm impressed by the fact that they're admitting outside information that they usually don't. Because Michael Cole said, hey, Booker, you've been in the ring with Samoa Joe before.
Yeah. Right.
And most people are probably going, when? And I'm going, I remember when. So I'm interested in the fact that was because Cole wouldn't go off on his own.
For the listeners, when was that?
TNA. Several times.
Yeah.
And they were teammates and opponents.
I love that. When he said that line, I stopped and I was like, well, that's interesting. And then they went on to say these two guys have had legendary matches in NXT, and I was like, "Oh, well, son of a gun!"
Yeah, past history.
They remember NXT.
Yeah.
Oh, shucks, kids, that's awesome.
I think this is Vince testing Finn out again.
It was a great match.
I think that this will lead to him and Brock eventually at Royal Rumble. So I think that they're gonna test him out against Joe to see if he can hold up, and if he does well in that feud and those matches come off well, then I think he'll be the next in line for Brock.
But here's the thing: when you're going up against a Samoa Joe, you have to have two people to dance, and Joe can make anybody look good.
Yeah,
and he's willing to make somebody. He gets the psychology. He gets the idea behind it. Brock Lesnar,
not so much.
Not so much.
He's not it's not like he's a rookie.
It's not as bad as it used to be.
Brock's been around the block. I mean, he's been in a lot of high-profile matches, whether he carried it, whether he is the top guy or whatever.
Sure.
But the physical styles parallel. So I think that's why they're putting him with Joe right now to see how that meshes in the ring. And then if he were to face Brock, it'll be a similar style.
But I will say this is a year and a half ago, I may have agreed. I'm not saying I don't totally agree with you, but I would have been more poo-poo the idea of Brock being that way. But he did put Goldberg over in huge, huge ways.
Yeah, but he put Goldberg over. Stop and think about that for just a second. Here's a guy who doesn't want to work full time. Here's a guy that really wants to be somewhere else. And here's a guy who is all but come out and said, "I'm just working for a paycheck. I love WWE, but I'm looking for a paycheck. If all I have to do is fly out and do a couple of 10-minute promos where I'm basically standing around and bouncing back and forth while my advocate is talking, and I have to put somebody over that the crowd wants over anyway,
okay,
I'm good with that." He didn't lose any heat. He didn't lose any stroke. He didn't lose any of all that stuff, slap nuts. I mean, he just really... Sorry, I channeled Jeff Jarrett there for a second. He didn't lose anything. So, yeah, I can see that. Putting Finn Balor over is a different thing.
True. All right. I can see that. All Then we had The Miz getting the schnizzle beat out of him by Strowman. But again, Miz doing some of the best work he's done for years, still looks good, getting his ass kicked.
I'm telling you, man, one of these days we're going to have this conversation. Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho, The Miz, greatest of all time. Let's talk about that for a second.
The greatest what?
Of all time. Talker.
All around, Miz is
All
right
around.
there all around. He talks, he sells, he can get people over. As good as
There's
Michael,
other guys we can put on the list, but I just picked 3 at random.
But I'll say this: I will put nothing against Michaels, but Miz and Jericho do have a talent that he didn't have. In that, if you want, they're willing to take the loss to make people greater. And Jericho was really good at that, and the Miz is good at it too.
He has to.
But he's
Shawn
good at
Michaels
it too.
was the guy. He didn't have to do that.
But I'm saying he'd have to.
The Miz is running the mid card.
Yeah.
He's not the top of the food chain, so he has to. He has to.
That's
lose.
true.
That's
so
true.
if he was carrying the company, he can pick and choose his battles. But like now, he's in the mid card. He doesn't have that pull.
But I'm saying, but
He's
we're
a
not-
great worker,
right.
and he's going to be an all-time Hall of Fame
Oh,
talent.
he's Hall of Fame.
But with only having one title run to put him on the level with Shawn Michaels and Jericho, I can't do that.
all right,
I got to see him in more main event.
all right.
Not that he can't do it, but do they see him as that guy, or is he just a good Intercontinental Champion?
And to
some
be,
guys
and,
aren't.
Yeah,
you know,
and to be fair, I stacked the deck poorly. What I should have said was where Miz is at right now. If he keeps that trajectory,
Yeah,
maybe
He's gonna-
You're right.
I think
I
with the
see
Miz-
what you're saying, and I was wrong.
I mean, to me, he's already established himself as a Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
But like I
He
said,
married Maurice. I mean, right there.
Oh yeah, he's already won in life. So planted the seed and everything.
Hashtag one.
all of life.
If he were to have 1 or 2 more world title runs, like good ones,
Right, solid ones.
They put him against, you're beating Roman Reigns and Strowman, and you're beating Joe and people like that.
Well,
Then
that's where he's on the wrong
then
brand.
you get
though.
elevated.
He's on the wrong brand, because we'll get to that later. But like he would do go on SmackDown because again, if he's going against like an AJ or depending on who's over for that title, against him versus Lesnar doesn't make sense. Him versus Roman doesn't make sense. But him versus like an AJ, or if Seth was still champion, or if Dean, those people make sense against Miz, and you could see him going over and doing well.
Absolutely. Or the modern day Maha.
Yeah,
But
or
guys
Jinder.
like Jericho and Michaels fought bigger guys. They didn't,
Yeah, but
they
the
didn't-
Miz doesn't have. I don't think the Miz has the
That's because
believability.
he's booked as a chicken shit heel.
Yeah.
So if he
Well,
were booked,
Yeah, but Flair was booked as a chicken shit heel his entire career.
if they
and
were
pulled it off.
if they would have capitalized off of that talking smack segment,
oh yeah,
they could have really flipped his character.
oh yeah.
And turned him around and sent him on a totally different trajectory.
Wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me that WWE dropped the ball in the booking scenario?
They didn't drop it; they fumbled
let's-
it and kicked it out of bounds.
Well, if we're going to talk about screwing up and talking and screwing up and
put it that
dropping
way.
the ball, let's get to the next segment. So Enzo comes out. Number one, I love the "We Want Neville" chants,
Oh my God,
of
that was
course.
so good.
but in one of the
Of course,
dumbest moments of the entire week. And again,
Kevin Dunn.
you could have edited this out so no one realized it, because you could have changed it.
Kevin Dunn.
Pete Dunne comes out to make his Raw debut, UK champion. Kurt Angle's really supposed to come out and shock the crowd by saying, "This guy's coming out." But his video is already playing in the background. His name already showed up before Kurt Angle already came out.
Kevin Dunn.
What the hell? You spoiled one of the greatest pops.
oh my God,
Kevin Dunn.
But man, that Pete Dunne, he looks amazing.
I wonder
The
if he's related to
Bruiserweight?
Kevin Dunn.
Oh my God. The Bruiserweight
That
Oh
looks
my God.
Yeah,
I love
unreal.
that guy. There were some shots in that match.
I want him to be on the main roster.
There were some shots in that match that looked legitimate.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
they probably told him to go beat his
Well,
ass.
it's Enzo, yeah.
well, the problem was it was Enzo delivering the shot. Remember that Enzo got him in this like weird like chicken wing thing, and he was
Oh, yeah,
he was
that's
sitting
right,
on his
yeah.
back, and then he had his left arm back, and then he was slamming his head on the mat.
Yeah, that's right.
There was no hand slapping the mat. His head was slapping the mat.
But we
Yeah.
banned the curb stomp.
it was so
By-
cool.
By,
looking.
by the way, we banned the curb stomp,
Yeah.
but that's legal. Okay.
But
Oh, yeah.
I
Moving on. Whoops.
love that kid though. I loved him before when they had him on TV when
Yeah.
he was on NXT. God, he's really good. And again, I hope they don't shuffle him to 205. They bring him over, but God, he'd be good on the main roster. He'd be fun.
There's nobody from that UK batch of guys that they picked up, all 8 or 10 that they pulled over from the classic, the UK
Classic.
Yeah, that sucks. Even the big dude, the Wolf guy, is great.
Yeah.
Everybody on that crew is really good. I don't know why they're not on
And again,
NXT
but they should be brought in as a group.
have their own show.
Yeah. Oh, they should have their own show.
They should have their own show.
I would watch that. I try to watch NXT. I would watch that. But
Imagine those crowds.
Yeah, I
Oh my
watch that
God.
show all the time.
Yeah.
But you could, and the thing is, there's no reason WWE couldn't put they could hire a small crew over there to tape it.
You know why they haven't done that?
Why?
Because we would stop watching certain other shows. Well, we wouldn't because we'd have to watch them. But
Other people would.
I think that a majority of the WWE. Here's my thing.
But again, it would push them to the network, though. If you put it on the network, it would boost the network.
Right. But I think that if they started a Women's Revolution TV show
Which
and
they
did it
should.
well,
Yeah.
and then they have NXT, and then if they kind of bolstered up, which they seem to be doing pretty well, the 205 Live,
And then a UK
and then
show.
you have a UK show. Outside of this podcast, I'd be honest with you, I would never watch the main product except
Yeah,
maybe
all right.
weeks of pay-per-view. That's about it.
They won't do it because one of the top brass would have to be on site, and I don't think they would trust anybody to run that without Vince, Stephanie, or Triple H being over there.
No.
William Regal or Fit Finley.
Yeah, it wouldn't be Regal because Regal does a lot with NXT, but you could set
Yeah,
Fit Finley over there.
Finley, probably.
Fit would go over there, and they could be, and it would help expand their international brand. Because think about it, if you have a show over there, it's a lot easier for you to go to places like Italy, India, and places like that because you're already in the UK. It's a lot less flight.
Yep.
You take a smaller crew with you, and you can do more tours in and around those areas.
Sure.
As the WWE UK, than you could bring in the entire roster. Over.
Yeah, and you have, and I'm sure they already have stuff there, but you could bolster that.
Oh yeah.
That up, and you can have, your shipping stuff is a lot easier. But
Oh yeah.
that whole match, though, man, Pete Dunne looked amazing, and I'll be honest with you, I'm trying not to let all the news and stuff, all the noise, but Enzo Amore to me is now just really utterly disgusting.
Oh yeah. He's gross.
And I never thought that I would say that.
The whole.
To the tune of, I'm thinking about changing the intro to the podcast
Oh, but he's in it.
because we still have
Yeah.
how you doing?
Yeah.
He. What's gross about it is that his arrogance has become slimy in a way that is unappealing. We want Neville chance. If he'd ignored him or said, yeah, he's gone, that'd fine. But he goes, I ran him out and then went on. You're just like, oh, that's just not the way to do it. Like, we all know you didn't run him out. Neville left. So you saying you ran him out, and just the way he says it just feels gross.
There's a way that he could have said that would have brought heat, but still would have
and
been.
it wasn't that.
Honestly, I think this is more of him.
Yeah, I think so too.
And it's not a character. It's just more, you know what? People don't like me. I don't give a crap.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm just going to go out and be myself.
Yeah. The way you say the Neville line is like, yeah. It's the CM Punk thing.
Yeah.
He took his ball
He
and
left.
Yeah.
Exactly.
and you still chant for him.
Yeah, he went home.
Yeah.
You guys are even dumber than you look.
Yeah.
And then you keep on with your promo.
So then we had the main event.
Oh, God. Shoot me in the head.
The bar? Oh, sorry.
The bar, getting their final,
Get me to
The bar.
the bar.
getting their final shot at Dean and Seth's tag team titles. The match itself was crap because it's sad because they've had good matches in the past. It was crap. Then New Day show up.
New Day.
Thank you. And give us one of the greatest lines that will live for a while. We showed up in the back and we beat you guys up. And what'd you do? Nothing. Oh my God, that was great. Or Wood saying, now you've survived 3 hours of the B show. I'm like,
You didn't catch that?
"Whoa, that was awesome.
That was awesome.
That was great. But what I thought was a crap angle for a minute, I mean, it was fun with the New Day and that was fun, turned into an interesting moment when Sheamus took advantage of the moment and won the belts.
I saw him do it, and I even knew it was coming, and I'm like, I don't believe this.
I'm trying to understand why. Because now you have two heels, quote unquote,
That's
Exactly.
fighting each other.
That's why.
What?
I think that's the point.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's two teams.
Because now you're going to get the Usos back over as faces.
yeah.
We're gonna have to.
Well,
They're kind of tweeners anyway.
Well,
right now.
we don't know because we'll get into SmackDown. There's a rumor that one of the Usos may be hurt, but we will get to that.
Hurt.
Yeah,
from the fall.
Yeah, that may be more legit than
The
people.
fall.
When they count out,
When the count out, he may actually be hurt.
Oh.
hurt his knee for real.
He may act now. That's the rumor, and
Yeah.
we'll find out more in the next couple of days. But if they suddenly, have a tag team title match on next Tuesday,
Yeah, they have to drop them balls.
Oh, that works out well because New Day needs that extra number.
there may
go.
be a reason. So yeah, but I did understand the change. Again, it's hot potato. JB has mentioned it before. It's hot potato with belts. We're flipping belts. I do though believe that it was also because they wanted, and we'll talk about the other title change later. I think they wanted to give the UK fans something, and giving them a title change is something.
Yeah.
At the expense of your pay-per-view. Okay.
Well, who
well-
gives a shit about that?
In light of what happened on SmackDown, I would be much more likely to agree with you if what happened on SmackDown hadn't happened.
But they wanted to give them both shows because people weren't guaranteed to buy tickets for both shows.
oh, jeez, God.
boy.
That's what I'm saying. I understand what you're saying. They didn't want to.
Hey, whoa, they don't care about ticket sales.
Well,
Clearly.
Ticket sales suck in the United States. Why do they care about not sucking in the UK?
well, so. But Raw was Raw.
It was not the bar.
It was not to bar. All
It
right.
wasn't the A show this week.
Before we move on to SmackDown, I once again want to thank Anchor Brewing for your Merry Christmas, Happy New Year 2017.
And before we get into SmackDown, can we make our big announcement about the new acquisition to the Beers and Body Slam family of social media platforms?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sure.
We're very excited. We've discovered a way that we're going to start leveraging YouTube. So we now have
I'm laughing at Discovered. That's why. Like
Yeah.
you found some secret passage.
we now have a YouTube channel.
Yay!
And what we need, we're going to be just brutally honest with you. We need you guys to go find it on YouTube because we need a certain amount of likes and subscribes before we can pick our name.
Yep.
That's the thing. That's the way YouTube works now, and it sucks, but that's the way it is. So if you go to YouTube and type in the search bar, Beer and Body Slams podcast, what we have now is both shows now automatically are uploaded to YouTube. So now you not only can you listen to us on iTunes, not only can you listen to us on Stitcher, now you can listen to us on YouTube. Now the cool thing is if you press the subscribe button and then hit the little bell so we'll get notified whenever a new show goes on. That is a great way to help get the word out for us. Please subscribe. Please tell your friends because we're going to put other content out other than just the podcast stuff. We're already talking about it earlier tonight. So we're going to be putting some cool content out.
Yeah, we just got to get to a certain level, and we'll start putting some stuff out.
So we need your help. So search Beers and Body Slams podcast on YouTube and subscribe today.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
in
you.
advance.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you so much.
So on to SmackDown Live on tape. So on
SmackDown Live
on tape.
tape delay.
On tape delay. The fact that Kill Call SmackDown Live was funny, but hey, I understand you can't change the name of the show for 1 week.
yeah.
I know.
It's live when they did it.
Yeah, it was live. It was live on
It
tape.
was live once.
It was live once.
At some point.
much like a lot of the wrestlers' careers, it was live once. Shane McMahon comes out, praises the New Day for their actions on taking out Raw, and then are interrupted by KO and what I assume is Sami Zayn having a minor seizure. Because I don't know what that walk was.
It's ridiculous.
Oh my God.
It's trying to be over the top, and it's really, really annoying.
Yes, very over the top and very, very annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's annoying because they even made fun of his dancing. He doesn't even dance anymore. He
Yeah.
should still dance as a heel. It'd be great, but now he's doing this over the top thing.
It's too much.
But this segment did give me my favorite line of the week, which was KO asking Shane if you wanted them to. He goes, "Do you want us to laugh and sing like your New Day puppets?"
Yeah,
That was
that's
funny.
only reserved for certain people within the company.
Yeah, that was interesting.
We're only shucking jive. To
Yes,
certain
we only shuck and
delegations.
jive.
You want me to smile and dance? All right, I'll do that.
But does Shane look just like, I don't know what's up with his head recently. I feel like his head is getting bigger. You notice that,
like ego or
no,
like
like
his head is
physically
actually-
his head.
Well, if you jump off the
know,
top of a bunch of Hell in the Cell cages, you'd probably have some
Might
swelling.
have some hemorrhaging.
Yeah, he just looks.
he sweats like it profusely.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, it must be
Like-
hard wearing all those clothes and sweating.
Yeah, it's weird looking. He just looks weird in there, and he needs Daniel back. I'm glad Daniel's coming back next
Yeah.
week. Thank God.
So this gets us to the little piece of news
That's right.
that we were talking about. This is what we're trying to get to. So your theory, JB, is that at some point, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are going to be traded to Raw. Well, that may happen. However, news broke earlier today that Kevin Owens, for the second out of the United States tour in a row, and his friend Sami Zayn have been sent home from the tour. So it's a 2-week European tour. They're a week into it, and Kevin and Sami have been sent home. Sports Illustrated was asking for confirmation, and a WWE official said yes, they've been sent home for behavior that is deleterious or
Detrimental?
detrimental to the company.
Deleterious with it.
Deleterious, same thing.
Oh.
Detrimental to
a
the
salad.
company. So basically,
I dropped my speaking spell when I was
rumor.
younger.
Well, that word ain't in no speaking spell. So anyway, apparently, the word is that Sami and Kevin went rogue
During the Sammy Kofi match.
on the Sami and Kofi match. So what was supposed to happen was, Kofi was supposed to beat Sami as what transpired. But then they're supposed to do this little deal where the heels are in the ring and they're kind of going at the, trying to get the, goading the baby faces. Well, they didn't do that. They just took their toys and went home.
I wonder if this is real.
Maybe.
Some of this stuff that's going on.
The second part of that is there's a little bit of heat with those two guys backstage because they're very unhappy with where they're at.
That's it. Yeah.
So my thought is they're probably unhappy because of all the crap that's been going on. And if you're bringing John Cena back in to be the fifth member of Raw or Smackdown, that basically sends the message that none of you guys are good enough. We have to bring in John Cena because he's a draw and you guys aren't. And if I was Kevin and Sami, I'd probably be like, does anybody got Austin Aries' number? Has anybody got Cody's number?
Yeah. Well, it's like, okay, and we'll get to the main event. Your former champion, if he's such a great champion, should have been your fifth member.
Right.
Like that should have been, because we'll get to, obviously, we know AJ beat Jinder, but if you're playing off the idea that Jinder was a great champion, the minute he lost, Shane should have been like,
You're the fifth guy.
I'm sorry you can't take on Brock, but I have to have you're the former champion. I have to have my former
it
champion.
makes sense because the transpiring of events would be this. You'll jump in a second, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
How this thing plays out is this. We've got 2 weeks to SummerSlam.
Survivor Series.
Summary.
Thank you, Anchor Brewing Company, for
Jinder Mahal is the fifth guy. He doesn't get his automatic rematch clause with AJ until after Survivor Series. After Survivor Series and before the India tour, he gets a rematch. There's some hijinks. AJ loses. Jinder gets the belt back. They go to India, the modern day Maharaja, and everything makes sense.
God, if you guys could have seen the hand motion,
I think that's where they're headed.
Yeah, but
They wanted a higher profile match for Lesnar at the pay-per-view to sell that. I think Jinder will eventually win this title back before the India tour.
oh yeah, absolutely. He has to.
I think that was the only reason for the title change. As far as KO and Sami, KO has no complaints. He's done it all already. So I can't see where he has a problem with his status in the company. Whereas Sami, he's been lost in the shuffle since he got there. He has a legitimate gripe. But KO, he's been a Universal Champion. He's been, U.S. Champion. He's done it all already in a short period of time. Where a lot of guys that come in don't even get that fast. He came right in with Cena, beat Cena in his first feud, and it was off and running. Great feud with Jericho, great program. So how he has a problem with his standing right now, I don't understand. Like I said, Sami, I can see, but them not being on the team, for me, plays into the storyline of Shane not wanting anything to do with them.
Sure. I
So
agree.
that part of it makes sense from the storyline standpoint. like I said, that's where I don't know how, if a trade, whatever, how it happens, but I think like they'll find their way back to Raw.
Right.
I just think that KO, that was his best run, was on Raw. He probably literally feels like SmackDown is the B show, so he may be feeling some type of way about that. But like Sammy, if he has a legitimate gripe, he does. Because he's never done anything.
What if Sammy and Kevin are really that close? And Kevin's like,
oh, they are.
Sammy, they're never going to give you what you deserve.
Yeah.
Well, I've already been to the mountaintop and seen the other side. So let's just go back to doing what we do. And they go back to Ring of Honor. They go back to, and they could pull Young Bucks type stuff, and they could do what Cody's doing and still make the money.
If they leave, Daniel Bryan's out of this thing next year.
I think Daniel's out.
When his contract, he's going right.
He's gone.
He's going right over to Ring of Honor when he's done.
He gone.
If they could talk of a Punk or something to come back out of retirement to Ring of Honor,
it'd be huge.
I mean, that would be a good foundation for competition right there.
Yeah.
With Cody doing what he's doing, that to be honest with you, that is what the WWE needs to get a wake up call. Is for people like Neville, KO, Zammy. You know what? I'm done. And leave and go to one spot. Go to Ring of Honor where you're gonna get, the attention that you want and without the politics.
The problem with any of that is the amount of investment that Kevin feels that Triple H has made. And therein lies the problem. Because, hopefully Trips is in the conversation with Kevin, and Kevin's saying, look, I get it, but the thing is, I don't have time to wait for Vince to give you the reins of the show. Yeah. And what's going on right now is not acceptable. And it's not.
No,
fans,
I think the feud with Shane's probably set him off.
Probably.
I'm sure he didn't want to do that. But like I said, from his from where his career is, for as long as he's been in WWE, he really doesn't have career complaints right now.
Sure.
It's hard to go from the top of the card to U.S. champion to now, just kind of floundering. But like I said, Sammy has.
But he's not really floundering though, in that he's not in the title hunt, but he's featured in every episode.
But since Jericho left, he hasn't had really any meaningful feuds.
True.
Sami Zayn, no offense, you're not that guy. You know what I mean? Like, you're a good worker. You were good in NXT. You're not going to carry a brand.
No. Yeah, Sammy does better in smaller groups. Yeah,
well, he's a second banana. He truly is great as a second person.
I don't think he's a second banana. Look what he did.
No, he could be a good.
He was the heart of NXT for years.
He could be a good U.S. champion, Intercontinental champion.
Yeah.
But he's not that top guy.
I mean, was Sami Zayn left NXT? I wasn't sure what was going to happen because he bled NXT, or he acted like he bled NXT.
Yeah.
So I think he would do good. And maybe, like, here's a scenario. Cody Rhodes needs a foil worthy of Cody Rhodes. He doesn't have that in Triple H. Jay Lethal, they haven't given him Jay Lethal yet. Lethal would be the guy, but they haven't given him Lethal yet. But what if somebody like a Sami Zayn goes over? He could be. Kevin Owens could be.
Yeah.
Neville could be.
Could be. All right, so we'll talk about...
That's a story to keep an eye on.
All right, so...
it is.
The next sad moment for the UK fans, where this one I actually shed a tear for, was Becky Lynch versus James Ellsworth.
I couldn't watch it.
Oh, it was horrible.
I honestly fast forwarded through
again.
I saw Fonzie jump in the shark.
I couldn't even watch
it. I feel bad for the UK fans that you get 4 TV tapings a year, and this is what they give you. It was sad. All right, moving on. So,
what's with the Carmella super kick afterwards?
Oh,
is that over?
No, because she's kicked him before. He's attacked him before and come back to him.
Side note: her ring attire is very lovely, by the way.
Oh, I love her. You notice they won't show her from behind?
Oh, they did.
Yeah, they did. When she
really
walked up the ring.
Really briefly, but a lot of times they cut when she's going to turn the right way.
It's because it creeps.
I know. She's rising up the charts there.
Yeah, that's right.
She's rising something up.
No pun intended.
That whole segment.
Big Cass is a lucky man.
That whole segment was such a waste. I did think it was funny how they were doing the "Hey Becky."
Yeah.
They wanted to chant so bad they just picked somebody.
Yeah.
But it's just
Imagine
This
you're
to
the
me-
the ladies and you're watching this like really.
Yeah, this is what we got.
This is
I
our
know.
segment. This is what we get.
Charlotte's,
This to me-
Charlotte's outside the ring going, whatever.
Yeah,
This to me was the 2017 version of a bra and panties match.
Yeah,
yeah,
it was horrible.
It was bad.
The other big thing that may have come out of this is we don't know for sure, but Jey Uso may actually be injured.
What up, Oos?
Yeah, we'll see how that shakes out this week, and that could affect the show coming up and Survivor Series. But that may have been more real than a work of him laying on the outside of the ring. Like it was supposed to end, but even if you watch it, it didn't end.
Because it was weird though.
Yeah. Shelton Benjamin
he made no effort to get up.
Yeah, Shelton Benjamin looked confused.
Yeah.
And
That's not shocking.
Yeah, but it was weird. But I will say, he got a vicious hit though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not so. On to the main event. We had AJ Styles winning the WWE Championship from Jinder Mahal. Good match.
It was.
An amazingly good match.
Shockingly good match.
it was.
Again, Jinder shows that he can have a good match with a lot of different people. AJ proves that he is one of the greatest talents ever.
Yeah.
Wins the belt. He will now officially take on Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
This is where we're going to go into missing booking opportunity. We talked about the fifth member of the team being John Cena.
Uh-huh.
This is where I feel like they miss opportunity because there is no reason why you didn't have to announce the fifth member yet. You could have had next week's SmackDown Jinder stomping into the office with, Daniel and Shane going, I want my rematch now, and them going, whoa. You're going to get your rematch. But first, we need you to be their fifth member, and we're going to make you a deal. If Team SmackDown wins and you're part of it, you get to pick your stipulation for how the rematch happens.
A Punjabi prison match.
God, that's been retired.
But that would have been fun. But you know what I'm saying? No, but you could have done,
Yeah.
you could have easily tied it in where Jinder had to not earn his title. He's going to get his title defense no matter what.
Rematch.
A rematch is no matter what. But saying, hey, if we win and you're part of the win, you get to pick, you get to take on AJ in any match you want.
A 3-on-1,
Yeah, exactly.
one-armed, tied behind your back
House
match.
of Horrors.
You get to take on AJ.
WWE films.
AJ's got to do a one-legged, one-arm
The
match.
Abyss. What was the Abyss match? I'd like to do the Abyss match, please.
The House of Horrors? Or the...
Talking, I'm just making it up.
Spin the wheel.
I would like to. I want to take AJ on in
you get the man booby Punjab prison match.
AJ can never take his feet off the mat. There we go. He has to keep his feet firmly planted the entire time.
And I just have a thing.
Yes.
Modern day, Maharaja, come here.
Uh-oh.
This is not a coaching thing.
Okay. Not
Please
pep
don't
talk. No
ever
pep
lift
talk.
your arms again.
What?
When he lifts his arms,
Yeah.
because of the way his body is
those
shaped,
veins?
he's got little man
Oh.
boobies. And it's distracting. I'm like, whoa! I
I
can't
never even
unsee
paid
that.
attention. To be
I
honest
haven't
with you.
either. I'm
You can't
confused by it
unsee
too.
that. Once you see it, you're like, oh.
Did you catch the chant though that they gave him? You're on
no.
steroids.
Oh,
my God.
that was
You didn't
wrong.
hear that?
My wife is always asking how his back knee's coming along.
Oh,
They were
his
like,
back
you're
knee.
on
Like-
steroids, and then he flexes. You don't remember
That's
that?
exactly the moment.
That's when they were saying they was chanting, "You were on steroids," and that's when he flexed.
Yeah, that's when he flexed. I was like, oh, don't do that again.
but yeah, that was SmackDown. We are 2 weeks away from Survivor Series, and this is what we're getting.
Yes.
It's a down season.
Yeah, I agree.
They're
When's the up season? And don't say WrestleMania.
Royal Rumble.
Rumble on.
So we got what, 4 or 5 more
After
months. That's great.
after the Rumble winners declared, then they go into full mode.
Let's hope that they have enough fans to do that at this point because
Yeah.
they're half filling arenas.
I'm telling you what, man. This KO Zayn thing though.
We'll see what happens.
If they were to walk away, that's going to be a crushing blow.
Mm-hmm. Especially as they build KO into one of the workhorses.
That would be a big loss for them.
So I would like to thank the Anchor Brewing Company for your Merry Christmas, Happy New Year 2017. It be gone.
It's gone.
He gone.
It was good too. I enjoyed the hell out of that. When you're ready to put your beer down,
Beer, you're so dumb. You're waiting for Rhino to come back to be the 4th member of SmackDown.
Rhino.
right? Oh, the fact that Rhino and
Not for long.
was behind Kurt as he walked out to the ring as this tough guy. Oh, I remember Rhino
Well,
was
they
tough.
are paying him.
Yeah, that's right.
Might as well do something.
Head over to vintagepressing.com, vintagepressing.com, where you can get drink coasters, luggage tags, phone cases, and more.
Make sure you come visit us at facebook.com/Beers and Body Slams podcast. We've got shows that are uploaded every week. We also have some posts we're putting up there. Make sure you visit us over at YouTube at beersandbodyslams.com. Search for it. And make sure you visit us at beersandbodyslams.com and check out all of our great sponsors. They take care of us. They'll take care of you.
Follow us on the Untapped app. You can see what we're all drinking. As I can't drink this week, but send me pictures of beer or suggestions so I can live vicariously through you.
That's how it all got started with Adam Blompier.
That's right.
At good OLJB.
You can follow me at Mr. Fluffy as I try to prove that beer is only a number that I can never reach.
And
And
this guy over here.
And this guy over here who's not paying attention that his cue has been played.
You can watch me as I slowly murder my liver
Watch
at the
me.
Irish O'Leary.
You can watch him on Untapped Live app.
That's right. Make sure you tune in on Monday, because Monday we're going to have a fun little topic show for you. We're going to talk about fantasy Survivor Series teams.
Fantasy.
We've all come up with. We're passing around a picture of Ginger's man boobs, and
I'll pass.
apparently
Thanks.
I want to share the pain.
in his lunch. I don't know why his lunch is in there, but his lunch is in there too.
He's eating clean. All he eats is
He's
air.
eating clean. So we're going to do fantasy Survivor Series booking as we each pick teams of 4 to go against another team of 4. Any generation. The only thing was you had to have a theme. So we're going to do that. Just have some fun before Survivor Series. So tune in Monday to hear that and tell us we're stupid, because, most of it's going to be dumb, and I'm sure we'll go off on a rant somewhere because God forbid we actually stay on topic ever.
What topic?
That's right. As always, make sure you keep your pint glasses full and your body slam stiff.
You've been listening to the Beers and Body Slams podcast. Find us online at beersandbodyslams.com and on Facebook at facebook.com/Beers and Body Slams podcast. Until next time.
Have a nice day.